Hi, it's Mark from TLR. I'm here with Dana Ranahan of Bodywork Sports Physiotherapy in North Vancouver, BC. And we're going to talk about ankle injuries. How are you doing, Dana?
Hi, Mark. I'm good.
So ankle injuries, they hurt. I know I've had really bad ones. My ankles are really loose and floppy. What's going on there?
That's a really common thing. And I think that's one of the things I wanted to raise this issue is that people do have ankle injuries, kind of think, oh, I just sprained my ankle. It's no big deal. But you can end up then having recurrent ankle sprains. And sometimes then people do get kind of loose in the ligaments around the ankle because they get sprained and strained and overstretched so many times. So if you have an ankle injury, it's really important, even though it seems like a minor sprain and you just want to tape it up and go back to it, it's really important to figure out what you did, how bad it was, and what you can do to get stronger and improve your balance so you don't keep spraining it again.
So what kind of symptoms do people have? They've twisted their ankle, quote unquote. It hurts, there's swelling. What's the typical, how do you diagnose that and go about treating it?
Well, it kind of depends on how it happens. So sometimes I work a lot with soccer, so we see it on the soccer field, and you can see someone go over, or they either step on someone's foot, or they trip over someone. Similar things happen if people step on a rock or something, or trip on a curb, and so they would feel like the sudden giving way. Sometimes people actually fall down, sometimes not, but they will have like a sudden pain, swelling of the ankle. And sometimes it swells up pretty quickly, and not always, but often if it swells really fast, it can be an indicator of a bigger injury to the ligamentous system. And so the biggest thing you need to do is get it compressed and get it elevated and iced to try to keep the swelling under control so it doesn't blow up too big, because that will just make your pain worse. So those are the kind of the first things. And then I think it is important to have it checked. Maybe you need an x-ray if you might have a minor fracture, or sometimes you pull a piece of bone off if the ligament's been sprained. So you could check in with a physio. We could certainly take a look at it and send you back for an x-ray if need be. And regardless, we can help you understand what you've done. In the acute phase, it's really important to get some advice on how to manage it so you manage it properly, and then we can look at what needs to happen going forward.
So when you're actually treating it, do you have to wait until the swelling has subsided?
No, I think it's almost better to see it relatively sooner than later. I mean, often you can't do as much exercise or functional work like to get stronger when it's that swollen, but we can do a lot of work to try to bring swelling down with ultrasound or some techniques with our hands to bring swelling down, tape it, give them exercises to do to try to control swelling, etc. And that advice and a simple treatment in the beginning is really helpful to get them on the road to recovery quicker.
What's the typical treatment time?
I think it depends on the severity of sprain of the ligament, and sprains can be kind of mild to severe, let's say. So a milder sprain would probably be more like a 4 to 6 week period. Medium sprains, maybe 6 to 8 weeks. And if it's more severe, it could be 8 to 12 weeks. So 3 months sounds like a long time, but sometimes it takes time for all the ligaments to heal and everything to get stronger, especially if you've done a more significant sprain. So, depending on severity, it can range over those time frames.
So when you're making the ligaments stronger with exercises and stretching, I guess, I'm not sure what the process is, but does that actually tighten the ankle or keep it tighter so you don't have floppy ankles later on?
Well, if you have a more severe sprain, some of the fibers of the ligament can actually be torn more. So the more severe sprain, sometimes it doesn't bounce back and bring you all the way back. If you have a milder sprain, maybe you've partially torn it, like 25% of the fibers are torn or something, you can actually have that knit back and tidy up and tighten up and snug up again. So that's why if you've had a milder sprain, it's more important to figure out what to do to get it tighter and stronger, so that if you resprain it again, you're not just making it worse and worse and more torn, because if that happens, then you end up with looser ankles and it's harder to stabilize. We can do muscle strengthening and balance exercises, but if the structural integrity of the ankle, meaning the ligaments that support the joint, are kind of attenuated or broken down, then they can only do so much. And it may mean that you're going to be a recurrent ankle sprain person. And as you get older, we're looking at arthritic change in your joint.
How important is it to get in to see a physio soon after the ankle injury?
It's very important. I would suggest that people try to get in to see us within like 3 to 5 days or 3 to 7 days after their injury to get things going as quickly as possible.
If you've hurt your ankle in North Vancouver doing anything, the guys to see your Bodyworks Physiotherapy, you can book online at body-works.ca, or you can call them and book at 604-983-6616. Get your ankles looked after. Thanks, Dana.
Thanks, Mark. Take care.